Hey y'all, what's going on? This is J Marie at J Marie Book List. Today I'm coming to talk to you about service and therapy animals. Okay? Usually it's dogs. That's what most service animals are. They're dogs. But I know some people got ponies and whatever else. But most of the service and therapy animals are dogs. And y'all, this chair it has me lounging for real. I hope I don't fall asleep out here. All I need is a pillow. But um, service and therapy animals are for people who have issues or disabilities, things like that. So you might see someone who is blind or their sight is whatever, and they'll have a service dog, and you're not supposed to touch the dog. So that's for all my dog people. You're not supposed to touch the animals because they're trained to only, I guess, be touched by the person that they're serving. But and then we have some people that have therapy animals. They you know have issues and they went through some stuff, and to cope they have an animal. So as a secretary in the hospital, you say, okay, well, why are you telling me this? Because you will see them. And you will also see people who have animals who are not therapy animals, but they take advantage of the situation. And so the main thing you need to remember is that it's not for you to confront anyone about whether or not their animal is a service animal. If an issue comes along, you do your chain of command and you let your charge nurse handle it. You don't handle it. You bring it to their attention, but you don't handle it. So I've seen a lot with the animals in the hospital. Um, I remember there was a lady in the ICU. She had been there for a while, and people, they had the animals, and they're in the hospital, and the animals at home, and you know, the animal is going crazy because they're not there. You know, they might have family at home, but the animal knows that so and so is not here. They know these things, and so the lady wanted to see her dog, and we don't let animals in the ICU, because they have dander and pet hair and all that stuff. We don't even allow flowers in the ICU. And so, like, because people have surgery and they have stitches that that are kind of open, and then all that get in there, and or it's just, there are reasons why you don't allow certain things. And so she asked the charge nurse, and the charge nurse said yeah. And this big old, I don't even know what kind of dog. I don't know dogs. I'm a cat person. But this big old whatever came on up in there, and they closed the sliding door, and they pulled the curtain, and her dog reunited, because the lady, I think technically, oh Lord, it's about to start raining. I think technically, the lady could have been discharged. I think it was during season, and she couldn't get a bed on the step down unit, so she was still in the ICU. And so she maybe needed one more day, so it wasn't like she was hooked up to IVs and things like that. She was walking around. So they let her dog come in, and I like I ain't see nothing, because they ain't got nothing to do with me. And then we had a man. Oh my God, this is the craziest. Well, you know what? I'm gonna say that one for last. Then we had a family who had a dog. Like, they had a family member in the ICU, and they had a little dog, but the family member was in the ICU, but the family spent more time out in the waiting room because they had a little dog, and they spent more time out there with the dog than they did seeing about the family member that was in ICU. And the only thing I can come up with was that they had lost a child, and so they had replaced that child that they lost with that dog, because they showered that dog like a baby. And I mean everybody in the whole family. So that's the only thing I can come up with. That because like why would you not? You here at the hospital, but like all of them were in the waiting room with the dog. Like they barely went in there to go see the person that they were there to see. I don't even know why y'all here. But they spent the majority of the day out in the waiting room with the little dog. So the only thing I came up with is that a child had died and they were using that child, to get through their grief. I mean, using that dog to get through their grief, work through their grief. That's the only thing I can come up with because these were young people. They were young. They weren't like old people. These were young people. And they babied that dog. I had never seen anything like that. That's why I remember that. And then, we had another patient was in there, and I think they were divorced, and they had a friend. So the patient was divorced from a wife, but they had a mutual friend that wanted to see about them. But that friend had a service dog. So we were like, you can come on in here. That dog can't, because, the dog ain't coming in here. But you can be away from that dog for 5 seconds. You'll be all right. And so the dog stayed out in the little waiting room, and then she came on in and saw him, and then went on out. I think she might have had some issues too, and issues and disabilities. I think that was the issue, but they didn't allow her to bring that dog in there. Just like we didn't allow the other people to bring that dog in there, but they didn't care anyway. They was more concerned about the dog than the person in the ICU. And then we had a man. I was working on the other floor. I was doing my overtime, and it was change of shift, so I was about to get off. And ER, they send all the patients up during change of shift. Ain't nobody gonna be happy till somebody died. No one ain't supposed to do that, but that's what they do. And somebody gonna die because ain't nobody gonna get to them, and then it's gonna be a big old whoop-de-do. And I swear to God, the man came up from the ER. I'm sitting at the desk, and ER is bringing him up on the stretcher. The stretcher is kind of like how I'm sitting, like right now in this chair. The stretcher is just like that. So he's not laying down. He's up, like sitting up, like I am right now, reading a newspaper with a dog on his belly. I said, I'm so glad I'm about to. They coming down the hallway. I said, what? He is sitting up just like I'm sitting up right now, and this is kind of uncomfortable. He's sitting up reading the newspaper right up. He's looking right at reading the newspaper, and the dog on his belly. I said, I'm so glad I'm about to go, because I already know this right here about to be something. I was like, give me the paperwork. Let me put his chart together. Let me go ahead and order him something to eat, because I know he's hungry. They always hungry. I said, look, child, ain't nobody got time for this. I said, I'm so glad I'm about to be up out of here. But your handbook should address it, because we had an issue, and I think it was him. I think he was the issue, because then a little bit after that, they updated the employee handbook, and they printed that out and made all the employees sign it about service animals. And one of the things was what you can and can't do. That's why I say, look, when it's whatever, just do your chain of command, give it to your charge nurse. Don't be arguing with people. But one of the things that it means the employees, we're not to feed the animals. That's not our responsibility. We're not to clean up after the animals. That's not our responsibility. Look, if a person say that this is my service therapy dog, you're not to question it, but you are not to clean up. You're not to feed the dog. You're not to do anything with that dog. If they can't take care of that dog, physically take care of that dog, then they need to get somebody from the outside who can. Because like if you in the bed and you can't get up out the bed, how you gonna feed the dog? They better figure it out. They can't get out the bed. How they gonna clean up after the dog? They better figure it out, because nobody that works here is gonna clean up after that dog. But you're not supposed to question. You're not supposed to argue. You're not supposed to do anything if they come in there with a dog. So I think he was the issue, because like literally maybe a week after they updated that. So I think it was a big old whoop-de-doo, and he looked like it was gonna be that's why I was like, let me hurry and I said, this right here about to be something. I'm so glad I'm on a different unit and this is not our unit, because I knew it was gonna be something. I ain't never seen nobody come down the hallway on a stretcher reading a newspaper with a dog on their stomach. I just I said, let me order this man something to eat now, okay? Before it get too late in the cafeteria close, cause it's man. I know he hungry. I know he hungry. He did, cause I already know it's gonna be some mess. So, look, you're not supposed to clean up after the dogs. You ain't supposed to feed dogs. Don't be arguing with nobody about whether the dog is. Look, they coming in carrying with the dog in the backpack on their back, and they said it's my service animal. Oh, okay. And you let the charge nurse know, and you gonna sit down, cause you ain't don't even get in that. Like, I don't see so many dogs. Now we did have a couple. They used to come around, and they still do, on certain days. I haven't seen them in a long, long time, because the days working, and they, but I think they did it for the little children, and then they were, they had little dogs, because people be in the hospital, they have animals, and they miss their animals, so they will walk around the hospital with the little dog, and you want to pet the dog, little puppy. Well, it wasn't a puppy, it was just a little dog. You want to, whatever with the dog. People, oh yeah, can I miss my mommy and my dog, and because people in the hospital and they miss the animals, so we understand that. But as far as when somebody come in and say this is my service dog, look, that's a service dog. It's only it's in the backpack on their back, and that's their service dog, because we ain't arguing with nobody. So that's what I want y'all to remember. You don't clean up, you don't feed the dog, and already know if it's really a real service dog. They usually have the little I don't want to say uniform, but y'all know what I'm talking about on. That's a real service dog, and them other dogs is whatever. But there are people who take advantage of it. So to keep it from going where we don't want it to go, we don't even question it. Okay, let me go, because I see clouds. I see dark clouds, and I looked at the calendar before I came out here to see if it's supposed to rain. I looked at the weather thing, and it said no. And now I felt some drops, but I see the clouds moving in. So let me go if I fall asleep out here, y'all. I will talk to you later. Bye.